Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this pepper textured, cloth textured, some kind of pepper illustration in the app IBS Paintex. So first I'm going to open FHD canvas. So here is my canvas. I'm going to choose a brush. So this is flat brush real. So this is the brush I'm going to use. By default it looks like this, and I'm going to make a little changes in this. So go to jitter, and in the jitter color choose jitter hue value to maximum point, and here choose the end point instead of pattern. So once you click to any point, the brush becomes like a gradiently changing color changing brush. So if you feel like your brush size is small, then go to brush settings and increase the brush thickness. So this is how the brush changes once you change the jitter hue value to maximum and keeping that on the end point. So if you change the color, it will gives different gradation. So I avoid having same color patterns nearby. So here you can see I got the same orange blue brush. So I just undo it and did it again. So likewise, to get some colorful color varying background, I'm just doing this way, and for that I just created this brush. So if you find any gap, you can just fill with different colors. So whatever the color may be, it's going to give some gradient strokes at the end. So this is our background. So now I want to add a little texture to that. So go to material pattern. I'm going to use material pattern gray. In that I'm going to use the cloth 01 pattern. So by default it looks like this. You can adjust by just moving the anchor points, and once done, just change the blending mode of the layer. Overlay, I'm using overlay. You can try any other blending mode that you want based on the material and the purpose. So here I'm using overlay. Now I just created a new layer, and before that I'm going to add text. So LOVE, so LO at the top and V at the bottom, in that manner. And I'm using default bold that font, and I want the text to be a little bit thick. So I just selected the stroke color to same black color and increase the stroke to maximum. Also I'm just changing the size of the text so that it fits my entire canvas. You can adjust just by using minus plus symbols, or otherwise just by dragging it. So I want to reduce a little bit, so I just use that minus symbol. Okay, now it looks perfect. So I'm not actually going to make this LOVE text will not come as it is in our pen. I'll show you now. What I'm going to do is, using the felt tip pen hard brush with a rectangle tool on, I'm going to create a rectangle, vertical rectangle like this with a mild beige color, and I'm going to position it exactly covering the center of the canvas. Also I'm adjusting the text a little bit so that it fits exactly at the center of that rectangle. So now it looks almost correct. So now I want to remove LOVE areas from these rectangles. So for that, what I'm going to do is just click on the bucket tool, and in the bucket tool make sure you have the reference as canvas and select the erase bucket. So also make sure the reference layer is on the canvas, and if I click on that, now when I use that eraser or the L, but I'm on the layer rectangle. So make sure you are on the rectangle layer, but since it considers the entire canvas for the erasing purpose, so it considers the LOV words, shapes as the reference and erase. So this is how I erase these letters, shapes from the rectangle, and I don't need that letters anymore, so I just drag it to the bottom. So now I want to add some paper texture, so I'm going to back that material pattern gray and using the wrinkle paper texture. And now I'm going to try some blending modes. For that, here I'm using linear burn and I'm making this layer as clipping layer for the rectangle. So now it's looks good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to duplicate this rectangle layer and just switch on the alpha lock and apply black color either using the bucket tool or lasso fill tool, whatever it may be. I usually prefer using lasso tool whenever possible. So I'm using lasso tool, and what I'm going to do is switch off the alpha lock and using the transform mesh form to just drag the corners little bit to the bottom as well as at the top little bit to the top to make a realistic the realistic paper shadow. So this is the, for the shadow. So I'm going to create the shadow using this black rectangle. So now make sure you are switching off the alpha lock and now use the Gaussian blur. Once you click on the Gaussian blur and increase the radius to maximum, you can see it looks like a realistic shadow of that paper. So that's what I want. And what else I can do? So here I'm going to add a little bit of lines like to make it look like a real paper with the ruled lines. So I just using the ruler, keeping it horizontally exactly at the position, and I'm using the felt tip pen hard brush, making the lines. This is not exact spacing, but I try my best to space each lines almost with the same spacing. So switch off the line ruler tool now. Now it looks like real paper, but you can try some blending modes like multiply or linear burn. Any other light color blending mode didn't work, so I'm choosing the linear burn or multiply. So I'm choosing the multiply blending mode and reducing the opacity so that it looks realistic. So again I'm going to create a new layer. This is going to be add blending mode layer. So when I say add, you have to guess that I'm going to add some highlights here. So I'm using same color of that of a rectangle, and using the airbrush triangle I'm adding 2 strokes like this to make it look like the paper has some few foldings, so here and there. So like that I just created some realistic look, and I'm just saving this as PNG. This is the final look. So I hope this tutorial give you some ideas about how Procreate artists make such an illustration. So if you like my artwork, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.